Hi, I'm David from Kaymar 4-Wheel Drive, and today we're going to talk about rear end protection, which I suppose Kaymar are the world leaders in. While there's plenty of companies around that make rear end protection on vehicles, there's not a lot of companies around that specialise in what they do. There's lots of different ways of protecting the back of your vehicles, just with scrub rails on the back of your tubs, or like a full setup like this on the back of your 4-wheel drive. Different configurations are meant for different areas, and for instance I'm running twin wheels on here. The reason I'm running twin wheels is because I'm running a big long range tank under the car. I've just done a couple of desert trips recently where I've been very lucky to get out there, so the beauty of it is mainly what I'm looking for is to carry two tyres because I have the fuel range. There's other options you can get on the back of vehicles. You can do a single wheel and double jerry can, or a single jerry can with some brands that are on the market. And the beauty of that is if you don't want to go to the expense of having a long range tank, or in certain vehicles you're still able to keep the spare wheel underneath the vehicle, so you're still carrying two tyres but then putting two cans on the back, which you can carry fuel or water. Now in different states around Australia there's conjecture on whether you're allowed to carry fuel on the back of your vehicle, so always check with your local RTA or Road Safety Act to what you're allowed to carry on your vehicle. A lot of people use it for carrying water because the beauty about the water ones on the back is the fact that you can wash your hands when you've been 4-wheel driving, getting stuck in the mud and any of those wonderful things. But the best part about a rear bar is the fact that it offers you full-on protection on the back of your vehicle, and it's a solid platform on which to mount spare wheels and double jerry cans and things like that. A lot of 4-wheel drives nowadays have tyres on doors. People think, why do I need a rear bar when I've got a tyre on the door? The biggest problem we have with certain vehicles on the market is the fact that over periods of time of travelling in the outback or up here on corrugated roads and all that sort of stuff, doors do fracture. So the beauty about a rear bar and wheel carrier is the fact that you're taking that weight off the door and then placing it onto the bar. So therefore there's no more weight on the back of the door. Also, certain bars on the market also have tow bars built into them. So that gives them added strength. There's other ones on the market that don't have a tow bar built into them. So you're not really gaining a lot there because you're not gaining any more departure angle. But the beauty about a Kaymar one or an ARB bar is the fact is that they have a tow bar built into them. So therefore you are able to get more departure angle on the back of the vehicle. Also, some of the other good points of having bars on the back of the car are high lift jack points, recovery points as well on the back of the vehicle. A lot of the modern vehicles nowadays don't have recovery points, definitely don't have anywhere to high lift jack. Like the Prado for instance is plastic front and rear, so the beauty about having the ARB bar on the front of the vehicle is the fact we've got high lift jack points. Having the Kaymar bar on the back of the vehicle, we've also got high lift jack points and recovery points as well. Plus we've got our rated tow bar and all that built in there. The beauty about these sort of style apparatuses as well is the fact that you can take them off, so you don't have to leave twin wheels and your wheel carriers on the back of the car all the time. So if it's a shopping trolley for mum at the same time, the beauty about this is you are able to take these off and you can put the tyre back on the door. So for around town, it's fantastic, but then when we want to go bush again, we want to go away for the weekend or we want to go away, you're looking at 10 to 20 minutes to put the wheel carriers back on the vehicle. So it's not an overly hard job to do to be able to convert your car back to an off-road machine where we can go away comfortably and have all the enjoyment out of our vehicle. Today, as we've come up through some of the rocky tracks, we've scratched the side of this bar unfortunately, but that's what rear protection's all about. We nudged up against a bit of a rock on a bank and all that sort of thing. Now if it had been plastic there, I would have stoved the plastic in, scratched all the panelling and all those sorts of things, which would have resulted in a full replacement of the bar. The beauty about this is we've just scuffed it slightly, bit of a cut and polish, and most of that marking will come out. And we've got steel on the back of the vehicle, so we've been able to drop down on rocks and those sorts of things. So that's the beauty about having rear protection on the back of your vehicle. So a couple of things to think about when you're looking at it. Biggest thing is find out where it's made. There's a lot of cheaper alternatives on the market, and absolutely, and everyone's got to work to a budget. But at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. A quality bar like a Kaymar or an ARB rear bar is the fact is that we're an Australian-made company. We're developed here, we're made for Australian conditions, and we both export throughout the world. A lot of the imported stuff that comes in here is a much thinner style steel, and while they might like to try and copy some of the things that what we've designed on our bars, they'll never replicate what a Kaymar or an ARB bar will do as much as they try to do that. Highlighted things on those sorts of things is fitment. A good quality product will fit on. You might have to put a packer in here or there, but I've seen some pretty bad fitting ones as well where you've had to get cable ties to put mud flaps back on because holes don't line up and all those sorts of things. So it's really important to find out where your product's made. Some of the most single easy actions to also find is a good solid locking system on your rear bar. Also an opening system, being able to lock the wheel back onto the vehicle. And also the hardest part, which what we try to explain to people, is the tyre always has to be hard up against that arm. Now, the reason we do that on our quality product, the fact is that on a desert movement, you'll get movement through here, through the top slide, and you'll just crack them off. Now, there's other bars on the market that you would have seen advertised, and they put double jerry cans they had on the front of wheel spaces and all those sorts of things. And yes, while I work for Kaymar, and yes, I'm an advocate for rear bars, the biggest thing is it's your hard-earned money. So if you're not choosing a Kaymar, or if you're not choosing an ARB and you're choosing somebody else's, just beware those little idiosyncrasies on why you're paying the quality of the bigger dollar for the Australian-made product. Because after all, we're supplying Australian jobs. We work hard at what we do, supporting our industry.